What's up, everybody? I'm Drifted from Driftwood Gaming. This is the project Dungeons of Driftwood. I'm going to show you how I went about making an instance actor generator inside this project. So I'm using a plugin from Himeworks called Instance Actors, and let's take a look at it real quick. I'll show you how I made it afterwards. So let's hire new party members. Let's get teleported to the Hall of Heroes, where we can hire a helping hand. If we say no, it'll teleport us back to the world map. But let's add a new party member. We get to select what the party looks like, and I've created all these sprites with the MV's character generator, so you can make as many or as few as you like for your project. I've got about, I don't know, 30 or 40 here. I'll probably add a few more, but let's just pick any random one. Let's take this guy. When you select one of the characters, you can see their face graphic, and you also see their sprite on screen. If you like what they look like, you say yes. If you don't, you say no. We'll go and say this one. Yeah, we'll take the way that one looks. So once we've selected what the character is going to look like, we get to select the class or the job for it, and we can make a fancy or schmancy way to select this. I'm thinking about using Yanfly's picture common events to do this, but for now it's just to show choices, just for tech demo basically. Let's select a class. We'll say warrior. Once we've selected the image, the class, we're going to move on to select the name for the party member. So let's just do something like random letters, so we can see that it's been renamed. Okay, we like the way that character's been renamed. So once we've selected a party member, we could either continue to select, and we could even make the currency that would be required to do this, or we can instantly teleport the player back. For right now, it's just looping, so we'll say no and just take a look at the party member we just added. So we've got this new party member, Naya, but I've given her a custom name and a custom class. So we could actually, this is different from my last one I made probably like almost a year ago, because this last time you were limited to have only one actor for each image, but with this system you can have multiple actors that have the same exact image. So let's add a new party member. Let's select the same image, and let's give her a different name, a different job, and just to show you that we can have multiple instances of the same actor in the party. And actually, while we're at it, we'll add some other ones too. I don't know, this guy, yeah. And we'll make him a black mage, and then we'll say he's Rowan C. Okay, and then we'll just do one more. Let's add another party member. Let's get Stormy here. Yeah, and we'll make her, I don't know, a red mage, and we'll say Stormy K5. Her name's K5. All right, and then we're gonna say not right now. We're teleported back. We'll look at our party menu here, and you can see that we have multiple instances of the same actor. We give it a custom name, different jobs, and that's about how you can. That's about all I can really show you for the in-game part, you know, and everything seems to work pretty fine. And the images, the battlers are all created with the MV Engine's editor, so pretty easy to do actually. And you could use your own art, of course. You could always use other generators online, but let's jump into the project here, and I'll show you how I made that. So like I said, I'm using a plugin from Himeworks called Instance Actors, and what you want to do is install this plugin if you want to create this system. The template actor ID doesn't matter, because we're going to be giving a specific ID for each time we go through this process, so you can give this whatever number you want. The start ID, you want it something high, probably 1,000 or 2,000 or something like that, so it doesn't interfere with other actors that you already have. One thing to note is you don't have to have your maximum up to that point. So we've gone to the character creator, we've made a bunch of different characters, we've gone to our actors, we've created a bunch of different actors. So add all your actors in here and give them like a default class that you're not going to be using for anything, because we're going to be removing that class. But basically just create them really simply by just giving them a face character and a battler and a template, like I'm calling class class number 8, the freelancer, which we're going to be removing. So just do something like that on the classes. You could even call it blank, or you could leave it blank, but I'm giving the freelancer like no skills, nothing special, you know, that's it. It's just a placeholder basically. So once we've got all of our actors added, we've got the plugin installed, and you see we only have a total of 100, so we're setting our maximum to 1,000, so it still works without changing your maximum. But what you want to do is at the beginning of your game, when you declare and initialize all your variables, you want to create a new variable. So you're going to need two different variables. So the first one you're going to be using, I'm using number 92. You could use any one you want. So I'm calling it instance actor number, and I'm setting that to one number below what the starting one is. So remember, in the plugin parameters we set the starting ID to 1,000, so I'm going to set this to 999. If you set it to 2,000 in the plugin, set this to 1,999. Really simple, and I'll show you why. Because we're going to create a counter. So once we've got our all that stuff created, we've got our variables initialized, create a new map or something where you can create the events for all of these. And they'll start from the beginning. You walk in to the map, and this is your controller. It's going to play automatically. So we set the trigger to auto run on this event. Doesn't need any image or anything. We're going to set a little wait. You don't have to do that. As a matter of fact, you probably don't want to do that. I might take it out because it'll just slow the game down. But I do that because of the placement of where I have showing the Hall of Heroes and then a text on top, because I specifically want the text on top because of the parallax on the map. But that's beside the point. So after that, we're going to say, ask the player, do they want to hire another person? If you wanted to make this require a currency, all you'd have to do is create a new conditional branch and say, does the party have this item? You know, and then if they have that item, then you can create an else branch, and then you would put all of this inside if they have the item, and you would also change items and remove that item. So that's a simple, easy way to make it require an item to use this system. So then we show choices, add a party member or not right now. So if they say not right now, all we're doing is doing a transfer player. All this other stuff is just like, flashy stuff. Show animations, fade in the screen, fade out the screen, and so nothing simple or nothing fancy there. Very simple. Just transfer the player when they say no, to get them back out of this screen. When they say yes, all we're doing is starting it off with a text saying, all right, what does the hero look like? And then we're going to control a switch. So we're going to need one switch here. So create a switch, whatever you want to call it, whatever number, doesn't really matter. I'm using switch number 3, saying Hall of Heroes start. We're turning that switch on. So what that's going to do, we're going to create a new event page. On this event page, now the trigger's no longer auto run, as in the first one's auto run. This is going to go to an action button, so we're done with the controller until we reset that switch back. But we're making a condition for that switch that we just turned on right here when the player said yes, they want to hire somebody. Then we're turning on that switch, and it's turning the page to this page. So now this controller is done until we turn off that switch. But what that controller does is it starts the process for this next event, which has two conditions. It's going to have that switch on, and we're also going to have the second variable. I'm calling actor image. I'm using number 93, and that number's got to be greater than or equal to 1. So it has to be a number. All variables are 0 by default, so by default this won't trigger. So what will happen is we'll walk in, this event will play. If we say yes, then what's going to happen is it's going to let us walk around. Nothing else seems to happen. But here's where we create the events, very simple events for each actor that you want the player to be able to select. So all you have to do is select the character image for that actor. Then we show a little text with the face for that. So you use the face image right here for that same actor, and we're going to say, is this what your hero is going to look like, or is this what this character looks like, or are you fine with the way he looks, or whatever you want to say. Then we're going to show choices yes or no. If they say yes, then what we're going to do is control that variable actor image. I'm using 93, and this time we're going to set it to a specific number. This number is going to have to reflect the same number that actor is in the game's database. So I'm setting control variables for this guy, who is Alex Perez, to 11. The reason why I'm setting to 11, because if we go to our actors, we see that Alex Perez is actor number 11. So that's very simple for that. So all you have to do is copy that event, paste it for the next one, change the image, change the name, change the face, and then in the show choices for yes, you change the variable from 11 to 12. So now we're controlling that same variable, number 93 actor image, we're changing it to 12 because number 12 is going to be the actor number for Anubis. You see what we're doing here. So you would copy paste it. We're going to do one more to show you. Copy paste that event, change the name, change the image, change the face, and then change the variable number to show the number for that actor. So Sanubi is going to be actor number 13. So we see that actor number 13 is Sanubi right there, and everything lines up. You just do that for as many number of actors as you want. Copy, paste it, change it, all that stuff. So you see that? Very simple, right? Okay, so you can do that as many times as you like to. Once that variable has been changed, now this variable is no longer 0. We already turned on the switch for this next condition. And so this condition's already met. Once we've selected an image, now the actor image variable that we've changed from 0 to 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever we want, is now it's greater than equal to 1. So it's higher than 1. So now both of these conditions have been met, so this event is going to auto run. So we set the second event to trigger auto run. So I put some comments in just to help clear up if you're following through here. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to increment the variable number 92, not the 93 one, but 92, the instance actor number variable. And this time we're not setting it, we're adding one to it. So we're incrementing it. We're operation add a constant of 1 to that. So that's why we initialize the variable to 999, even though the starting variable is 1000. So now that variable is the same number as the first actor we're going to be creating. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. So 999 plus 1, now we're at 1000. That's going to be the actual ID of the actor that we're creating that we're going to instance. So then we're going to say select the starting job for your party member show text. Now we're going to actually do the code that generates the new actor using Himeworks' plugin. So we do a script call. It's real easy. You go new, over on the third tab, advanced script, and inside that script we're going to type in, and you can find this inside the help file for Himeworks, but this is where you're going to be making it custom. This is where I've added something. So we're going to create a separate variable. We're going to say VAR for variable, actor image. We're going to say equals $game, capital V on variables dot value, and you're going to set this to whatever number you're using. For my case, on all of the characters, when I'm changing them to the actor number, I'm using variable number 93 as the same as my conditions for the actor image. I'm using 93. So for you, this could be different. But just remember those numbers need to reflect. 93 for the variable you're changing inside all of the actors. When you select the image and stuff, you're going to change the condition for this. This is going to be that number, and also this number right there. We're going to do an end line, and on the next line we're going to create another temporary variable. We're going to call it new actor. We're going to say equals, this is Himeworks' thing, capital I on instance, capital M on manager, dot add, capital A on actor. And in here, instead of putting a number, we're going to put in that variable we created that's referencing a number that's going to be changing. This lets us redo this over and over and over. So this number is going to be, the first time, this is basically the same as 1000. But the second time we come through here to create our next one is 1001, and then 1002. And it keeps incrementing each time because we're controlling it at the top. So we're adding one, and then it's referencing add that new actor. So then we're going to do, so that creates the actor, it generates it, but it doesn't actually add it to the party. So then we do $game, capital P on party, dot add, capital A on actor. Sorry about that. And then we're going to put in parentheses new, capital A on actor, because this is the variable that we just created. So we're saying all of this dot ID. So we're basically saying, you know, put that actor into the party now. So now we've generated a new actor on the position of 1000, actor number 1000, and we've added that actor to the party. But it's still a freelancer and has the starting name. So now we're going to have the player assign a class that they want to that actor. So then we put in show choices, and you can use Himeworks' large choices, or you can use Yanfly's message core and all of the plugins that, you know, there's several ways to do this, but what this lets you do is it lets you show choices. So you put in show choices, and it lets you put in multiple instances of show choices without having multiple menus. So it kind of like puts them all together. So if you have 12 choices, you got a set of 6 show choices and another set of 6 show choices, puts them all together into one big list of 12 choices that you can pick from. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do whatever background or window position you want. That's irrelevant. It's completely arbitrary. But what you need to do is set the default. Actually, that's kind of arbitrary too. Whatever you want. I set it to 1. But you actually have to do cancel disallow. On all of these, you're going to cancel disallow because the player is going to have to pick a class for the character that he just created, or she just created. So we're going to do cancel disallow on the, and we just put in the name of the class, and we just kind of go down the list of all the classes we want to have right there. We do the same thing for as many different classes that you have, and you're going to basically put almost exactly the same thing inside. So when they select the first class, in this case warrior, what we're going to be doing is typing in a little script command. So we do the same thing on tab 3, go down to advanced for script, and we're going to create a new temporary variable, actor number, and we're going to set that equal to $game capital V on variables dot value 92. So this is where we're referencing 92 again. So we're calling variable 92. In my case, you could change this however you want. So we're just using 92 and 93 for me. And we're setting that to a temporary variable called actor number. So then we're going to do $game capital A on actors.actor, and then we're going to put in actor number, the temporary variable we just created. So inside here, it's basically doing all of that, but it has to be referenced like that in order to work. Then we're going to put a dot, then we're going to do change capital C on class, and in parentheses, we're going to put in the number of that actor. The number of that class. Yeah. So in my game, class number 11 is warrior. So the second parameter here, we put a comma and we put true or false. So what true is going to do is initialize them. Actually, true is going to keep their experience, and false is going to initialize them. So if you're starting it off and you want them all to be level 1, it doesn't matter if you do true or false. If you start them as level 1 in the database. If you want to change their numbers around so they start at level 10 or something, you could always do that. And then this could be true or false. Really doesn't matter. It's up to you. And then we close the parentheses and do end line right there. So that's basically it. We're going to copy this whole thing right here for monk. We're going to paste it in here, but we need to change one thing. So when we do the dot change class, instead of 11, we're going to use 12. Because if we look at our database and we go to classes, I can see that class 11 is warrior, but 12 is monk. So when they say monk, you're going to change their class to 12. So right here, under change class, we've got 12 comma true. And then we copy paste that, change to the next one. White mage for this game is 13. So basically all you're doing is matching up this number to the show choices for whatever class you're letting them select. Pretty simple, right? And you do the same thing. So we've got a set of 6, then we do another set. Same thing right here. If you have more than 6 choices and you want the default to be the first on the first set of 6, then you do default none. Cancel is still disallow on all of these. So you just put in all of your classes that you want. I've got 20 something classes. So once you've done all of that, then what we're going to do is we're going to remove that starting class from the new actor, because we're instancing this actor and he starts as a freelancer or whatever base class, nameless class that you create. We need to remove that from it. So what we're going to do is create another script call on tab 3. I just showed you a few times. We're going to reference that same temporary variable, but we have to redeclare it because it's a local variable. So you have to kind of put that in every script call. So we're going to do variable or var actor number equals $game capital V on variables dot value 92. We're still doing the same variable here. End line. And then we're going to do $game capital A on actors dot actor. We're referencing that variable actor number dot remove class instead of change class. We're just switching that to remove. And this number we're going to put in here. I'm using 8 because my freelance class is 8. But whatever starting class you're giving them that you're going to, eventually take away and add a different one, that's the number you're going to put in there. So if your blank class is 1, then you put 1 here. If your freelancer class is 8 like it is on mine, then you just put 8 right here. So this is the class we're going to get rid of, so that if you're using other plugins like Yanfly's class change core or subjob, it won't show up as a blank class, and they won't have multiple classes. When they selected 1, they won't have 2. That's why we put that in there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to allow the player to name their custom the new hero they just created. So what we're going to be doing is show text to say, hey, name your party member. Then what we're going to do is do a script command. And the reason why we have to do a script command for this is because we're not actually renaming the actor in the database, and it wouldn't work. I already tried it the other way around. If you did do that and then instance it, it still doesn't work. So what we need to do, this is why we do a variable to keep track of the actor number, because it has to keep track of the actual number that you're using. So 999 plus 1 is 1,000, so that's why this variable number is storing the first time through, it's storing 1,000. We create an actor, it's in the slot of 1,000, and next time we create it, it'll be 1,001, and then 1,002, and so forth. But the script is actually very simple. You create that same local variable actor number equals game variables dot value 92. Then we're going to do scene manager dot push. Now you have to put this is different. You have to capitalize the first letter, the scene, and capitalize M on manager dot push. And then we're calling a scene underscore name. So you also capitalize the S on scene and the N on name. Now JavaScript's pretty picky when it comes to capitalization, so make sure you get the cap sensitive parts correct. We're going to do an end line. Then what we're going to do is capital S on scene, capital M on manager, dot prepare, capital N on next, capital S on scene. Then we're going to reference that local variable we just created, actor number. We're going to put a comma, and the number you put here is going to determine how many different spots, how many different text, how many different characters in the name are you allowed to have. So 16 is going to give you the ability to put in a very long name, and I think 16 is the maximum. So this could be anywhere from 1 to 16 characters. We're talking about letters, letter characters. So put in a number from 1 to 16 right here and do an end line. So that's going to rename that instance actor to be whatever you want it to be called. Then at the end of that, what we're going to do is we're going to reset the whole event so this whole thing can do it again if you want to have the ability to create a whole party of different actors. So we're going to control variable number 93. We're going to put it back to 0, which is going to turn off this condition. We're also going to turn off the switch Hall of Heroes start off, which is I'm using 3. So what that's going to do is turn off both of these switches, so this is no longer going to auto run, otherwise it would keep looping throughout this. And it's also going to trigger this to start again because we turned off the switch that switched the page on the controller. So this switch is now off, so this goes back to page 1, and this is going to auto run. It's going to ask them if they want to do it again, in which case they could say no and return, and they can continue. You could also, like I said, do a conditional statement in here and make it so that they require a token, and if they don't have it, even if they say yes, they don't have the item, then it'll just teleport them out. So it's very simple, but that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this instance actor generator tutorial, please give this video a thumbs up, like, favorite, share, subscribe. All of that stuff is super important. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Check out driftwoodgaming.com if you want to get some free action sequences or just tips and tricks and stuff on the website. You guys are cool, man. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.